Both of the cards. I have my deck of what you're gonna do and the deck of what you're dealing with. Now the deck stopped on gaslighting. And I wanted to start with gaslighting because um that's one of the first manipulation tactics I ever learned about was gaslighting. Um, because I wasn't too prone on this. I only knew nice people, mean people, right? And that's what a lot of people know. They know nice people and they know mean people. But gaslighting is when people have you questioning your own reality. Everything you say that they're doing to you, they say that they're not, rather than letting you explain and them trying to understand you like a true friend, a true partner, or a true family member, or a true co-worker would try to do, right? They would try to understand where you're coming from when you say, hey, you're gaslighting me, you're telling me that I didn't do this, but I'm doing this. And um one way for you to deal with a gaslighter is by journaling your events. If you feel that your reality is being twisted, what you want to do is you write down the date, you write down the time, and you write down the players, yourself, and the other person and what they're doing to you. You write it down, and you write it down every time they do something to you. Every time they tell you, hey, that's not happening. You said that I'm not acknowledging your efforts. That's not true. You write those things down every time the person has you questioning your own reality. Now, and this helps you trust your own perception. This helps you build trust within yourself, helps you trust your own tuition. Um, eh, you when you journal these events, you got to make sure you journal them in your own private area, because if this gaslighter has access to whatever you're journaling, they will try to hide, they will try to delete your all the things that you have journaled about them. And then now it looks like none of this stuff ever happened, right? So whenever this person, and this isn't even it's not even, it's anything. Whenever you tell the person, hey, you did this to me, and the person says, no, I didn't, that's when you journal it can be anything. Because the topic for today is gaslighting. Because it could be now gaslighting, it can happen at any moment. So it's best for you to put it in your phone and save it in a file, a private file. Don't write it on a calendar where everybody can see it, because they're gonna rip that calendar down. They're gonna take it, and then now you don't have your events uh ca- calculated. But and also, and gaslighting is a form of manipulation. You know what I mean? It's something that it's manipulating tactics. It's an evil tactic, because a person that really cares about you will listen to what you're saying and they will try to understand. They're not going to try to dismiss you very quickly and try to have you questioning your own reality. A true friend, a true coworker, a true partner, and a true family member is going to listen to what you have to say. And I love you. Oh, I love you. I love you, dear. Now, the next manipulating tactic we're going to talk about is stonewalling. Stonewall. I'm going to do another video for stonewalling, but I'm going to just touch on it a little bit. Punishment by shutting down communication. Now, what can you do about this? They're not talking to you. So the best thing for you to do is either set a boundary. I will not tolerate this stonewalling. And if you continue to stonewall me, I will either exit, or I will tell a necessary authority or whatever depending upon who this person is, you know what I mean? Depending upon if it's coworker and they're stonewalling you and you can't get the information that you need for a job, then it may be, you may have to tell someone above, right? But if it's a partner and they're stonewalling you, you may have to just let them know the boundary, let them know the consequence, and then execute the consequence. Sexual manipulation. Ladies, fellas, are you being sexually manipulated? One way for you to deal with this is just you can't have sex with that person. You have to go celibacy, or you're gonna be manipulated. But if you enjoy the manipulation and you guys are getting what you want, then maybe it's okay, right? That's up to you. Sexual manipulation, that's up to you guys. When you're dealing with people with fear of abandonment, borderline people, I think you should be sensitive to them. I think you should they have a fear of abandonment, you have to there's nothing really you can do with that person. You got to set your boundary, let them know, and then execute the consequence. They have to deal with their own fears and what happened in their childhood. You can't play psychology. Maybe they can go talk to a therapist. And avoidance are very difficult to deal with because what are they doing 24/7? They're avoiding you. Oh, I'm on my game. Oh, I'm listening to music. Oh, I'm going out. Oh, I'm over here cleaning up. Oh, I'm cooking. Oh, I'm doing this. You can never get down to, the nitty-gritty, what's really going on here. An avoidant, you may need to exit that situation because hello, hi. I have a trauma of Kentucky chicken when I was younger. What happened at Kentucky Fried Chicken? What happened over there that made you traumatized? Constant criticism. Constant criticism, it can become kind of harassing, you know what I mean? Depending upon they gave me raw chicken. Oh man, you got to report that, man. You gotta report that to the owner, to the manager. Disguising insults and relentless picking as constructive feedback. Now, see, the thing about constant criticism is that constructive feedback. But when it's constant, now it makes it hard for you to even become a real person. It makes it hard for you to make mistakes. It makes it hard for you to be able to grow into your own because you're constantly being criticized. It makes it hard for you to see what the other person's doing because you're constantly looking at your own self and what they're telling you to look at. You look like Chewbacca from Star Wars. There we go. Andy the game timer. I'm sure he's an avoidant if he's on that game all day. But anyway, deflect and project. I'm gonna deflect for a little bit, okay, Andy? And project. I'm actually very beautiful. But look, but when deflecting and projection can become negative is when it's when in a relationship and you're trying to communicate something very important to a person and they deflect and go off on say something what you're doing wrong, or they try to project something that you're doing and it's not what you're doing, it's what they're doing. I say go back to the other ones and just you gotta just set boundaries with a deflector and a projector. Narcissists, selfish people who only care about themselves. Disengage arguments. You know what I mean? Narcissists, if they're only caring about themselves and they're not looking at all the hard work you're doing, you're going to be getting mad. You're not going to want to start arguments with those people because every time you start an argument, you're going to become the problem. And they're going to see and that's how they're going to deflect and project. You know what I mean? They'll be on their game just chilling and then you'll come in there and be like, "You're always on the game." Da 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 da. And they're saying, "Oh, well," then they'll deflect it and say, "You're always yelling." And now they just made you a negative person because you're in there bothering them. So you disengage because you don't defend yourself against irrational accusations. You don't defend yourself against that. You disengage, you walk away as soon as they do that. As soon as you tell them, hey, we need to I need you to get off the game. I need you to go in there and give the baby a bath. Or I need you to take the kids to the park so I can get a break. I need you to wash those dishes. I need you to send me some money because I've been using all my money and I need some of your money. And then they say, oh, well, I don't have any money. Da, 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 da." You disengage from those arguments. You jot down what they're doing. You start a journal. You make records of what people are doing to you. And then you have this evidence, this timeline. And now you're not being manipulated and your perception isn't being thrown off because you have everything documented right there. Got the thing. Um, hi. How are you? Antisocial, lack of empathy for others. Man, look, like the person that is constantly criticizing, you know what I mean? They have a lack of empathy for others. But you can't tell them, hey, you're always criticizing him. You're never showing him something new. You're never doing this. Or you have to disengage from those arguments and you have to jot down what's happening. And then you have to make your boundary. You have to state your boundary, and if they don't do the boundary, then you execute the consequence. And the consequence can be therapy, it could be divorce, it can be I'm going to tell your family what you're doing to me. I'm going to report this to the police. I'm going, these can be the consequences that you can do, because when you do that, now you just showed that person, hey, I can be a threat. You want to disengage from arguments because people who have these different type of personality disorders that have not been diagnosed and they have never got help for them, they're going to be moving goalposts. Every time you clock them on something, they're going to be moving the goalpost to something that you did. They're going to be deflecting and projecting. So disengage from those arguments. Schizotypical, no close relationships. These people, you can tell these people, you can tell a close relationship based upon how, based upon the equal leverage. If they're constantly being pooped on by people that they assume they're in a close relationship with, they don't have close relationships. They're just used to getting pooped on, and they're looking for a nice person to poop on too. And that could be you. Are you the nice person getting pooped on by a person who's getting pooped on by everybody else in their circle? I don't mean to say pooped on, but I just mean like, someone who is constantly, maybe constant criticism, they're receiving constant criticism. And so you're the only nice person in their life that allows them to give constant criticism to. Everyone else in their lives are criticizing them. Disengage from the arguments, don't get involved. Histrionic people, easily influenced people. This may be you. A lot people with these personality disorders, they are very likely to they are likely to be easily influenced, and that's why those people with the personality disorders take advantage of them. They take advantage of easily influenced people. Okay, my daughter wants attention, guys, so I'm gonna peace out and talk to you guys later. Bye.